is the event on?
It's just on their page. Should go down. Oh, you're live, I think.
Am I? Are we there?
Yeah.
Yay, we are live. Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. Let's get a few people joining and then we'll start. Very exciting. We're actually here at 4 o'clock today. I'm just trying to see if I can join on this other computer, but it's not doing much at the moment. Bear with me 1 second. That's all right. I'll just get Kim to shout at me for a while. We are there. That's... No.
Keep going.
It should just be...
On the pink. Oh, you go on there. Just go on that.
It's not on there.
You're live.
I am live. There you go. We are live. So, without further ado, let's carry on. So, I'm not too sure why I can't see it on the other computer, but I'll just talk to you. Just hope you're all there. Kim is with me, so hopefully she'll answer any questions you've got. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Claire. I'm here with Pink Frog today. And of those of you that don't know Pink Frog, we're best known, I think, for our card, definitely our card, our super smooth and our true coloured card. And we're going to use both of those today. We also do lots of other things. We do adhesives, we do dies, we do stamps. So Britannia Dies belong to Pink Frog, and then we've got a range of stamps. And then we stock some third-party bits and pieces as well. So let's just go through what the offers of the week are this week, so before we get making. So this week what we've got is, because we're going to use the 15 by 30s, and both Dawn and I will be using these this week. So I'm live on a Monday at 4, Dawn is live on a Wednesday at 4 as well. So this week we'll both be using the 15 centimetre by 30 centimetre cards. So we will do that. Basically, a 15 by 30 looks like this. And when you fold it in half, you basically get almost a 6 by 6, 6 inch by 6 inch. It's a 15 centimetre by 15 centimetre. The reason we do unscored card is so that you can fold it into lots and lots of different folds. So if you like your gate folds, your Z folds, double gate folds, easel cards, you can do all of that because we give you unscored card. Okay, so that's what we do at Pink Frog, and we make it 15 by 30 because it's much easier then to do all of those measurements. We do also give you some measurements as well, so every time you order 15 by 30 you do get these lovely 2 instruction sheets. I'll just wave them at you. There you go. So you've got one that's got a load of card folds on, and the other one is how to make box frames, and I am sure one of us will cover that. I'll probably try and cover that next week. We'll do a little bit of that as well in our lives. Today, as well as so we've got, like I say, we've got 15% off all the 15 by 30 card. So whether it's the true colour, super smooth, watercolour, the textured leather card, all of that has got 15% off, and that'll work. Also, we've got an offer on the Britannia Dies, and that's 10% off all the Britannia Dies. That includes any bundles and the books that we do as well, and Dawn will be going through that on Wednesday. Both of those offers run all the way to the end of the month, so you've got until the 28th of February to grab those. So, and we'll focus on those for the next couple of lives as well, just to make sure we've given you lots and lots of inspiration, lots of makes for you to go with. The offer of the week this week is the tape runner from Crafter's Companion. Because I've had to shift to Kim's house because my internet is a bit rubbish, I forgot to bring my tape pen. But you know the little tape runners, instead of being £3.99, they are £2.50 each this week. So, and that offer ends on Friday. And the other thing is, if you're not already signed up to the Pink Frog newsletter, so basically you sign up either via the website or just let us know somehow or other, but yeah, through the website, and give us your email address. We will then email you, and in that email there will be a code, and that code is valid for the whole month. You can use it as many times as you like, and that will always give you an extra 10% off your order. Okay, so it gives you an extra 10% off all your offers, all your bundles, absolutely everything. So you basically get an extra 10% just for having an email. So there you go. So with further ado, let's show you a few little makes that we're going to do today. So we're going to start with a little trifold, okay? So we're going to use some of the dies, and you may have noticed the little bunny in the background there as well, and we've used that with a die as well, and then we've inked over it. So we'll show you how we achieved all of that, and what inks and how we chose those inks. And then when I first got given the brief of baby, I was going on pastels, I was going with the light pink, the light brown, the light grey, the light blue. I was going there. No, went bold, went primaries instead. And sometimes, you know, maybe if you don't know, you know, maybe what gender their baby's going to be, but also, you know, just a little bit of bright and bold as well. So your card will stand out a little bit. So again, we've used some of the dies and we've used some of the stencil film to make our stencil, but you can use any stencils. And that's a lovely little Z fold card. And I had a bit left over, so I made a little tag as well. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the camera. So I am going to flip it now. Let me just do that. There you go. If I do that and then do that. There we go. And we'll just hooch that up a little bit. There we go. So you can see my desk there. That's lovely. So one of the things, when we're using the Lisa Horton interference inks, one of the really interesting things for me is how do they behave on different colour cardstock. So when we got ours the other week and we were playing with them, I've got set one and I've gone through, and for each colour of the true card, I've made a swatch basically. So I can go through and you can see, if I look at this colour here in the bottom right, which is crushed velvet, here it's got more of a gold tint to it, here it's much pinker, and here it's very purple. Okay, so they look very different depending on what card you put them on. And for me, that's what I loved, is now I've got these swatches, because I'm using the Pink Frog True card, which is the same colour all the time, acid and lignin free, that colour through to core, I know that this ink will always come out. And I just love the gold tones through this, so that's why I picked that colour. So I do think it's quite... for me, I like to share these things because people go, why did you choose that one? And that's why, because I looked at these and went, yeah, that's the one. That's the one for me. But yeah, like I say, I've done it on all of them. And those pictures are knocking about as well on, I think, Pink Frog Inspirations, where we've shared all of that. So we love to see your makes. So come join us on Pink Frog Inspirations on Facebook, and also the Pink Frog Facebook page as well, where we share lots of inspiration on there as well. So let's quickly make the little trifold. So nice and easy. You've got it on your instructions, trifold. Okay, so all I need to do is let's pop some more light on so you can see what we're doing. There you go, that's better, isn't it? So we've got you, and we score at 10. Yeah, so no real measuring, I'm just using my board to do the work. 10 and 20. Any scoreboard that's got centimetres on, you'll be able to do all of these folds. And then back on itself. There we go. And down there. And straight away, you have got a 3-panel card. Nice and easy. Okay. So then I'll show you how I then went ahead and made my background. And there, I'm going to grab some of our stencil film. So the stencil film comes in 12 by 12 sheets, and you get 6 or 10 in a pack, can't remember. But you get quite a lot anyway. And then all I've done to make my stencil, I've grabbed my trimmer. It's 10 in a pack, there you go. I've cut this in half. So it gives me this, and then I'm going to cut this in half again. So basically, if I'm making stencils this size, I can get 4 out of every pack. Yeah, 4 out of each sheet, okay? One of the reasons I've done them this size is it then gives me a lot of control while I'm stenciling. I'm going to use the little bunny die. So here's our little bunny die. So he's like a little stuffed rabbit, but I'm going to use him and die cut him out of our stencil film. I know, I've got it with me somewhere. It's in that box, there you go. I'm just going to use a little bit of low tack tape just to hold it in place while I cut it. Mainly because the stencil film kind of moves about a little bit because it's shiny. You could do it on a much smaller piece. One of the reasons I like it on a big piece is then when I'm stenciling, I don't go over the edges, so I don't get a harsh line. I'll show what I mean in a minute. Let's pop it through. Any of your die cutting machines will work for this. I just happen to be using a Spellbinders Platinum 6, but I've done it equally on a Sizzix machine, on my Big Shot. It will crack a little bit because you're going through quite a solid piece, you know, so like a plastic you're cutting through really. But you'll see. Let's just move the die cutter out of the way for a sec. There we go. You'll see, take the tape off, that comes out of there really easily. And we've got our little bunny. Let's just put a little bit of brown card under there. And get a new piece. And you'll see little bunnykins. Okay, so when I'm now going to stencil, so I just want to make a random pattern on here. So it's the crushed velvet we're going to use, and you can see by my brush, which is my crushed velvet, it looks purple, but when I put it on here, it's got more of a gold tone through it. Sorcery. So I tend to start just in one corner, and because I'm going to move this stencil about, I don't tend to stick it down. Because I'm working directly on my ink blending mat from Pink Frog, you will find that your card might move a little bit while you're stenciling. So if you want to, you can again just use a little bit of tape. You can reuse a bit that we've already used. And if I can find the end of this, there it is. Nearly had it. There we go. What we can do is just stick that down. So then I've only got one moving part, and then I can go in where Bunny is. If you've got any delicate bits on a stencil, always kind of go away from them so you're not lifting them up. And you can definitely see that gold coming through. You can see a little bit of pink as well. So just that mixture of colour. And then just choose where you want that next piece to go. Okay. And we're there. And then, always as well, don't forget to go off the edge. Yeah, so you don't have to stop because you can't get a full bunny on. What you can do is just come off the edge. And that's what will make it look more like a printed pattern paper, because if you look at a lot of your pattern papers, nearly all of them, you'll find that design kind of goes off the page. We'll just do a couple more, and then I have got a whole piece done for you, so you don't have to watch me stencil for hours. Although it's very relaxing stenciling. I do like a bit of stenciling. So with the stencil film, because it's kind of so lightweight really, as well as being able to use your dies on it, and I've used quite intricate dies on mine, you can also use it, and you'll see from the stencil I'm going to use in the next demonstration, you can use it like with your Cricut machines, you can use it, obviously you've just seen the scan and cut if you've watched the programme before this, but also you can use your punches with it. So your good old-fashioned punches to make your very own stencils. Okay, so there we go. So there is Bunny, and you would just carry on and do the whole sheet of that. When I'm doing this, I like to do the whole sheet and then cut it, because then I've got that will then carry on through my design as I carry on. So let's just move you out of the way. We'll grab our wet wipe, a little cloth. There we go. And just give it a wipe. There we go. That's not straight. That's better. Right. So this is the piece that we've already done, and that's nice and dry now. But you can see how that gold kind of comes through as well. So now I'm going to grab my trimmer. And we've got some gold bits to cut as well. I think I've already pre-cut those actually. I have. So for those of you that like measurements, the gold panels, so you've got 3 panels exactly the same. The gold panels are 14.5 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres. And then this one is going to be 14 centimetres by 9 centimetres 3 times, okay? So to make sure all of them are the same length, I will always cut the 14 first and then the 9. If you want bigger borders or skinnier borders, you can do these exactly as you like. If you do them by eye, that's absolutely fine. So you'll see I'm doing that one by 9, this one by 9, and then the next one by 9. Okay, so the great thing of this is now that pattern will carry on through my card design as well. So this would be a great time to use your Crafter's Companion tape runner, but seeing as I didn't bring mine, what we're going to do is we are going to use some red liner tape. And the reason I'm using that, I could use my EVA, but when I'm sticking onto a mirror card, I prefer a dry glue because I get that instant grab because you stick into a non-porous surface. Okay. I'm sure if there's any questions, lovely Kim is answering them for me because I can't see any today. I'll get there. We will get there with this, with it. Bit of new technology. Who doesn't love a bit of new technology? So I hope you're all enjoying the craft store. I hope you're loving having everything in one place. Yeah, it's really nice to be here. I do love a Monday afternoon. It's a great way to start the week for me, to be able to share some crafting with you. So I'll pop those on there. I am going to use my Teflon tool just to, what that does is it just presses your tape further into your card and makes it easier to get your covers off. And then just line that up, kind of equal all the way around and put that down. Because I had already prepped this, I'm not too worried about, obviously the ink is dry on these. If the ink was wet, just use a little bit of scrap paper, copier paper, just while you're rubbing over it so that it doesn't disturb your design too much and get ink all over your hands. Although I've got ink all over my hands most of the time, to be honest. Not a bad place to be. A bit of tape. And then we'll pop this one on here. So the gold card that I'm using underneath, you may notice it's not just ordinary gold card or gold mirror card, it's the gold rainbow mirror, so it picks up lots of different colours. That does mean that when you're choosing to use it, it works with lots and lots of different colours as well because it's got many colours within it. It's got a nice warmth to it. And it's got, for me, it's got a little bit of playfulness in it as well, which I thought was really sweet for a new baby card. So there we go, and we'll pop this one down. So you'll notice I'm trying to keep them in order. It wouldn't really matter if they were in a different order, but I do like the fact that the rabbits kind of match and carry on. So with that in mind, I'm going to lay this down the same way. I am going to grab my EVA now because I'm sticking card to card rather than the shiny mirror. So the back of the mirror is just a really good quality board. There we go. Pop that on there. First panel on. And your trifold, you can do them whether you want the front to fold the way I'm doing it or the other way. Again, your choice. So I'm going to get a bit of glue on the front of that there. So we get from washing. There we go. Wipe that off, and that'll wipe off after as well. And then that one will go on there. There we go. And our last panel. So already you've got 3 little panels, but you could do different colours, you put different messages on them. I just wanted it to carry on from one panel to another. Okay. So there we go. So there's our little card. So now we just need to decorate it. So when I decorated mine, I decorated the first and the third panel. I left that middle panel blank, mainly because I just wanted to see the little rabbit, because I thought it was really cute. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab some card, we're going to grab some dies. So that we can do. So I've already cut some of them out. So when you're cutting these bigger panels, because they're open dies, yeah, by that I mean you can see the card through it. Yeah, these are some old Spellbinders nesting dies that I've had for years. When I'm cutting this, in fact we'll do it, we'll grab a little bit of gold. There we go. That isn't gold though. It's rainbow. There we go. Grab that, there you go. So I'll show you what I mean. And it won't stop all the marks, but it will stop a little bit. So when I do this, we'll grab the die cutter again. So you'll see that my plates, and I'm now found it, I thought there was a plate missing, it's here. My plates are quite marked, so when I'm putting mirror card through in an open die, if I don't protect it a little bit, just a bit, again, a little bit of copier paper, what's going to happen is I would see all of those marks. Now I might see a little bit of this, but it won't be quite as much, yeah? So it's just a way to protect your mirror card, your metallic cardstock when you're doing this. Okay. So you'll see you've probably still got a couple of marks on there, but it protects it a lot more. You don't get all of those niggly little bits on there. And we're going to cover most of it anyway, but if you're using it as an open panel, those things are quite important. While we've got the die cutter out, we'll cut some of our other dies out as well. I just need a little bit of the ivory. So this is the true ivory, which is a beautiful, beautiful, soft ivory. It's the kind of ivory or cream card that I like working with. It's not too yellowy, it's not too buttery. Works really well for me, so that's what I like. So let's pop those away. And we are going to grab some of the dies, which are on my board in front of me. So we're going to cut our bear, and a building block, and our little spinning top as well. So just really cute little dies. What you'll find as well is your 15 by 30, you don't even need to cut down to put in your machine. It fits beautifully through your kind of standard die cutting machines as well. Okay, so just pop that there. We'll run that through. I'm actually going to bring it back the same way, just have to reach over. And we've got our little bear. You can see it's got that pin detail on there as well, so it just adds a little bit more detail to our little bear. The same with our spinning top, which just tucked itself in there. Great detail on that. And we've got our building block as well. We just need a pokey tool. So all of them have got release holes in them, all the Britannia dies, or all of them that need them. So that will go in there. And the building block I cut a few times, and this one we cut in gold as well, and we'll do a little bit of snipping out in a minute. But I'll tell you what else we're going to do. I'm going to cut my sentiment as well, because I want to show you how beautifully the sentiment's cut. And we're going to do new arrival. So when it comes to kind of baby words, at Pink Frog, we've got new, we've got baby, we've got boy, we've got girl. So you do new baby, baby boy, baby girl, new arrival. We've got the word twins as well. Because these are cutting out, it doesn't matter whether they're lined up or not. So I'll just pop that through. And we'll just go through. Once would be enough. The only reason I'm doing that is because I've got the die cutting machine that way and I don't have to reach over it. And we'll pop the die cutter away for a minute. Sorry for leaning over you. So these will just pop out and they're really delicate and really pretty. So you'll just find that these peel out really well. You might need to get the middle of your E out. There we go. So I've got new. One of the, so because I'm at Kim's, we get joined by the cat. So if you hear a little bit of mewing or purring, it's not me being overexcited. It's definitely a cat, I promise. Although anything's possible. So there you go. So you've got your new and you've got your arrival there. So we can start to build our toppers now. So I'm going to use some foam pads as well. So if any of you haven't seen the Pink Frog foam pads, they come on a roll. These are the chunkier ones. These are 25mm by 25mm square. So when you take the backing off, you'll see they are little square ones. Or we do a slightly smaller one, which is kind of half size basically. But yeah, you get loads on the roll, but these are just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to pop those on there. And I kind of do mash them up a little bit. So rather than having to cut into them, in fact, I'm going to use a smaller one there as well. There you go. So this is for our back panel. You'll see that the covers come off really, really easily on these. There you go. And then all we're going to do is just line that up on there and pop that down. I want to put new arrival on there. So I could use my EVA with my super fine point nib, okay? And I often do that and you've seen me do that. But one of the other really easy things to do is your quickie glue pen. So these are really easy to use because it's just like writing, but it's got glue in. But they're great for words because it's like kind of writing, so those shapes kind of follow, even though you don't kind of backwards. So all you need to do is just almost just write on the back of your die cut and see how easy that goes on. It will have a slight blue tinge when you put it on, but it does dry clear. But how quick and easy is that? Again, if you don't like a lot of mess, this is a great glue for that. I'm gonna go on an angle. So if getting things straight is something you find difficult, but then it really bothers you that it's not like to the super tiny, like nanomillimeter straight, put things on a jaunty angle. That way, nobody can tell it was supposed to be straight, yeah? There we go. And then we'll do exactly the same with our new. We're just going to draw on the back of this. But it's a nice, easy way for really intricate things just to get glue in the right place. And then we can put you there. I do quite like a jaunty angle. I know it's not for everybody. Oh, hello. Apparently not for that word. That wants to come with me. Just let it find its way. Just don't rush it. There we go. What you could do, I haven't got a stamping block with me, is just put something on it. Put that in there as well. I'll kind of weigh it down, it'll dry. And then with the front, I don't actually want that. I'm going to build up like a little scene with our little critters. So what we're going to do is going to put bear, and then when I did this afterwards I thought, oh, the bear would have looked nice with a little bit of ink in, so I'm going to use the Royal Truffle Shimmer just to add, so this has got a little bit of kind of a brown tone when I use it on the ivory. But I always start off my mat and just bring it in. If you think you've got too much, just dab it off a bit. And we're just going to add a little bit of shading, which will just make him pop a little bit more. It's interesting, sometimes when you photograph a card, you see things that you wish you'd done. So if when you're putting a card together, take a photograph of it with your phone, and quite often you will see things that you go, oh yeah, I'll just move that a little bit. There we go. Now we've got a little brown bear. And we'll just give that ink a wipe up before I get that everywhere. There we go. So we've got a little bear. One of the other things I did with the bear, I'll just grab this actually, is literally a tiny little bit of the brown, and we're just going to stick that behind bear, and that'll give him a little brown nose and little brown eyes. Again, I could use my quickie glue pen, or I can use my EVA, whatever you like. So people ask us what's so special about EVA. It's acid and lignin free, it's quick drying, works brilliantly in your non-clog glue bottles. Yeah, just fabulous glue basically. It's got a really nice flow to it. It's definitely my glue of choice these days. You know, yeah, I use red liner tape, yeah, I use a quickie glue pen, but I would say these two are the glue that I use most of the time. What I did decide to do was give our bear some little dots in his eyes, so I just used a little white gel pen. Let's just see if you're going to work. There we go, yeah. And you can obviously get him to look in a certain direction if you want. There we go. Let's get him running a bit better. Probably give it a shake, that'd help, wouldn't it? There we go. There we go, that's a bit better. I've decided it doesn't really want to go, but it gives you the idea. But it's a nice way to be able to just add a little bit more detail to your dies. With the little spinning top, what I like to do is I will cut it out of two colours. So I've cut it out of the ivory, true ivory, but I've also cut it out of the same gold that we're using, so the holographic gold rainbow. There you go, it hasn't got the word holographic in it at all, it's the gold rainbow, isn't it? I love being here with Ken, she just put the words in my head. I've now managed to lose my scissors over there, put them somewhere tidy. So for this, I'm just going to snip into this. I'm using the little dotted line just to get me on board, so I know where I'm going, and that means it'll line up with my other. You can choose where to cut it. On this one, you could just go for the very top bit. I decided to go for the whole handle. And I do tend to curve them a little bit in general. For me, it just gives it a slightly more realistic look. And again, when it comes to glue on this, you could use your quickie glue pen, or you could use your EVA. I'm going to use the EVA for this. And then we'll just pop this together. So that one will go on there. Put a bit of EVA on there. And there is our little top. So again, so whether you decide to ink, you could use your pens as well. Anything you wanted to add a little bit more detail, you can do that. So what we're going to do is just layer this together. In fact, I'm going to leave the lid off that for a minute. Put this on the front of our card. I'm just going to stick this on flat, because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my foam pads to put my little toy elements on. Put our panel on. And then I raise all of them up. Not sure actually. These I might have just done with glue actually, the little blocks at the back. So blocks can go whichever way around you want them to. And tuck that one behind there. And just make yourself like a little picture really. So the nice thing with using a wet glue is you can like lift things up a little bit and move them about while you're still doing it. So much so, it's still it'll take a little while to dry because it's onto the gold. So with this, I am going to use our foam pads. I can't find, oh there's the skinnies. These are the skinnier ones. There we go. I'll put one that way and one that way. And we will pop Bear on there, and then we'll pop our little spinning top. Again, we're going to use the skinnies just to fit on there. And you could always snip into these as well, just to put a tiny bit at the top, but for this, I'm just going to leave you there, pop you under there. There we go. So there's the front, and then we are just going to pop a bit of glue on the back of here. Fabulous. And we've got our new arrivals. There's your little trifold card. We've made our own stencil to make our background paper. We've kind of upped our dies a little bit. We've got words on there. So there you go. There is your first little card. And without any messing about, card number 2. I'm trying to put stuff down so the cats don't get it as well. So it's like, don't just throw things on the floor, Claire. Whenever you've used your non-pod glue bottles, my top tip is always just give them a wipe. You can use your finger to help guide that pin back in. That pin is so long, it goes all the way from the top, so it goes all the way down into your glue bottle. So we're going to switch our colours up a little bit now. So we're going to go nice and bright with this one. A red, a blue, and a yellow. There we go. So this is the card we're going to make. So we're going to stencil this background. I love the fact it's got all my rubbish on it now. That's hilarious. There we go. I don't think we'll have time to do the tag, but it's the same kind of principle, but we are going to do this part of the card. So let's start with our folding first. So we will need a card blank. So again, I'm using 15 by 30. This is our super smooth. So this is the card that we all know and love. And this takes ink absolutely beautifully. And I'm going to score at 15 and 7.5. Okay, so again, nice and easy. This is on your instruction sheet, so it's not something you've got to remember. Okay, but straight away you've got an interesting fold. For me, when I make interesting folding cards, it feels like I have to do a lot less to my card to make it shine because it's already there. So should be stencil in the bottom of here. So yeah, again, these are stencils that we've cut out of the stencil film. I've actually made 2 different ones. I'm going to grab the brown again so you can see them. One is kind of all numbers, but for this one I used our little alphabet one, okay? So many of you will have stencils like this, but if not, if you've got an electronic die cutting machine, you can make your own. So I'm going to work on panels. I've already done some, but I want to show you how I did this main panel. So one of the things that sometimes when I wanted to just basically tape it off, okay, so that I wasn't having to excessively mat and layer, But then I came to stick it on, and that day I was not getting anything straight. So what you can do is use your scoring board, and that will just help you, especially if you know which line is which. So if I go here and go down the middle, but line it up, actually I'm not, I'm going to go there, and I'm just going to look where 7.5 is. 7.5 is there, and if we go from the bottom, if I follow that line there, yeah, and come up to 7.5 at the top. I love the fact I've got my tape a little wonk, but that way I know I've got it stuck really straight because I've used my board to help me. Okay, we'll also show you another little tip in a minute if it's not quite straight, how you can kind of disguise that a little bit as well. Okay, so while we've got that on here, that extra tape's going to help me hold it on here. I'm going to use a little bit of tape just to hold this down as well. And that's because I only wanted it on half of this piece, in case you wondered why on earth I'm faffing on. So the colours I'm going to use are Cherry Bomb, Sapphire Gold and Sweet Treat. I do keep separate brushes for all of these. One, because they've got a shimmer in, and because they're quite bold colours. So I do tend to just keep a brush for each, although occasionally I get them mixed up. So you'll find that these inks, even though they are interference, so they've got a shimmer, the fact that they react differently on different backgrounds, they do still blend beautifully, okay? So they're not a one-trick pony by any means, yeah? There's lots and lots of things you can do with them. Okay, bit of yellow, and we'll go blue that side. And you'll see that where those colours are crossing, I'm getting some greens and some kind of purple tones going on. Maybe a bit of orange in there as well. I don't want this to be a hard line at the bottom, because I'm going to bring this down now and kind of carry on. It's a different pattern, but where it overlaps, that'll still work, yeah? So even if you've got a stencil and you're like, oh, it's not big enough, yeah? You can always join them up, yeah? There's lots you can do. And there's our yellow at the bottom. Maybe a bit of red in that corner. There we go. And what you'll see now is, as I lift this off, apart from I've smudged on that side, which is about typical for me, but I get a really clean line, yeah? Put that in there. But obviously at home you can take a bit more time when you're doing these things. Let's move those stencils out of the way. Let's give that a quick wipe. It's a nice easy way to make a background, yeah? And like I say, these inks work really well doing this, and the colours like merge together really well. If you think, oh, it's, you know, it's not quite as straight, it's not quite as defined as I'd like, one of the really easy things to do is if you cut a tiny piece, so this is about 1/4 centimetre, yeah? Literally just a little thin strip. And again, EVA or Quickie Glue pen, and just put the glue down the back of here. It's going to be longer than my card because I'm going to snip it off, but for me it's much easier to line it up. Go that way. Yeah, and that will give you a nice crisp edge. But I've used a tiny bit of my speciality card. I haven't had to use a whole piece just to matte and layer that little panel on there, yeah? Just by using this, it's like it ends up with a bit of a like fake matte and layer on it. So quite like that, it's quite a neat little trick. And then we will grab our scissors and just snip that off. For me, it's much easier to stick it and then cut it. The card seems to shrink if I measure it. So we've got that, that's going to be our front panel. So again, for those of you that like measurements, the panel on the back, the rainbow, I'm going to pop this on, is 14.5 by 14.5. This is 14 by 14. And the panel on the front, again, 14.5 by 7, and then 14 by 6.5. Okay, so they're just going down in increments. I do need my red liner tape that I've buried somewhere. There we go. Same on this piece. So again, I'm using the red liner tape or something like the Crafter's Companion tape runner I would use for this, is because I'm sticking it to a non-porous surface, yeah? So because of that, like I say, I like to use a dry adhesive. Again, we'll use our little Teflon tool to make sure, one, it's stuck down, and secondly, it helps with that release. Fabulous. And this will go on here. And the same with this. There we go. So the nice thing about kind of stenciling your own backgrounds and inking and things like that is it means you can make the same card more than once because you're not limited to just the piece of pattern paper you've got. We'll pop this on our card. I'm going to use the slightly thicker nozzle this time, which just lets out a little bit more glue, which is quicker for this bit. Put you over there. There we go. Lovely. You can also watch any previous lives that we've done. They're available on the Pink Frog Facebook page and also the Pink Frog YouTube channel as well. So if there's things that you're like, what's she talking about? You'll probably find I've talked about it quite a lot in previous weeks. So there's loads on there as well. There's loads of old footage as well that we've shared. So there you go. There's your two panels. Then this middle panel. So again, let's put you on there. This is going to be my central topper. So this is going to be my main interest piece. Go on, you are going to come. Another little rub. There we go. There we go. Rubbed it enough. Pop you on there, and then we'll just build this little topper up. So what I did was, again, I die cut some of the blocks, but then this time I've actually coloured them with the inks. I can't seem to find the yellow one. But how I do this, where's that little scrap of paper again? Just to show you, that one's the closest, the little yellow one. If you have a scrap of paper with you, it just helps you hold that piece in place and move it about. But you'll see it, the Super Smooth takes this ink so well that you can almost make like coloured card with it. Yeah. So the reason I just use the piece of paper is it just helps me keep it in place without getting my fingers completely covered in ink. Okay, so just a little tip. And let's give that a little bit of a wipe down. There we go. And then we will just quickly assemble this. So little foam pads. In fact, I might be able to do big ones on the bottom. So I'll take a blue one, there we go, and a red one. but the yellow one at the top is going to overlap the others, so I'm just going to pop that one at the top because it's going to sit on top of the others. I need to fit new baby at the bottom. I'm hoping I've left enough room. Could all go so terribly wrong at this point. So we've got a blue block and a red block. And then we're just going to pop our yellow block on top. There we go. And then I thought I'd cut new baby out, but I haven't, and I'm running out of time. What I'll do is I'm going to pop this on the front of the card first. So when you're doing this, just work out which side it's going to go on. Again, I like foam pads to add a bit more dimension on the front of my card. And then that will pop on there. And then all we need to do, I've still got 5 minutes. We can do it, we can do it. You might not get to see my smiling face again, but you will get a finished card. Apart from I've lost the word new because I've already used it. No, it's there. It's there. It's there. Got a little bit of the rainbow mirror. Copy you there. Just sent everything flying. It was also organised until this point. I was doing quite well. Kim gets to see the real chaos these days, which is really good fun. Let's pop you there. I'll sort the glue bottles out in a minute. I've got our new baby. Pop these out. These are nice because they're all like in one word because they've got that kerned writing. They're cursive, so they're all joined up. So it does mean that your spacing is really easy to work out because you only got to put 2 words together. Can't find my quickie glue pen, so we will use this. Use the EVA. If you put too much EVA on, which I have done a little bit there, just dab it off on a little bit of paper, yeah, before you pop it on your card. And again, we're going to go at a little bit of an angle. Come on, stick. There we go. And we'll do the same with this one. There you go. Less is always more when it comes to glue. That one's much better. You're not in that much of a rush, Claire. Slow down, breathe. There you go. And then don't use the gluey bit. But you can always just to make sure that you're not getting your inky fingers on it. There we go. Job done. So I will put these back in my glue bottles. That's just a really good habit to get into. When you finish using, put your glue bottles, ink your lids back on your glue bottles. I'm going to move all that out of the way. I might even have time to flip the camera. What have I got? 2 minutes. Let me flip it. Sorry, Kim. I've done it wrong. You'll hate me. I have done it wrong. I don't know how to get it back. There you go. I'm back to front and upside down and everything now. There we go. Yay! And you get to see me for the last little second. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. They're giving me a different phone to use. I am getting there. Honestly, I just about nailed Facebook Lives and now they make me do it on a different thing.
Upside down.
Am I upside down? I love it. There you go. Is that better? I'm still upside down.
I don't know.
There you go. Hopefully I'm the right way up now. But there you go. 2 little cards for you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for joining us. There you go. Now I can do back to front. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Join Dawn on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. She'll be here. And any questions, come find us on the Facebook page, Pink Frog, or anywhere you'll find us. Thank you so much. Have a good day.